Why does my throat, yo, this person was rubbing it. They was rubbing it. I was like, oh, okay. At my head. And I literally started crying. In the, oh, okay. Oh, y'all. This video is going to reach the right people. This video is going to spread positivity and empowerment. This video is to empower myself. This video is to empower other people. And this video is to bring awareness. We are moving into 2026. Speak up.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once.
Hey y'all, it's Kim Mock here. If you've been here before, then you already know what it is, what's up. And if it's your first time, come join the club. It's a vibe. And subscribe. Today's video is going to be something that is a very heavy topic. Yeah, I'm so nervous making this video. I don't know what's gonna happen after I post this, but something heavy on my heart is guiding me to tell this story, to speak on this. It's something that I'm being very vulnerable, but it has to be done. It really has to be done. So yes, I think this is over a year of being celibate, abstinence, whatever you want to call it. This is my year, maybe like a month, December anniversary. I haven't done anything yet. I'm gonna do something to just celebrate and just pat myself on the back, because ooh, okay. Ooh, y'all. Oh my gosh. I don't want to get emotional, but let me do my makeup so it could distract me a little bit and make me feel better. So why am I even making this video? And disclaimer. Let's do the disclaimer and let's do why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video because, again, heavy on my heart to get into a little bit of detail of why I'm sharing this. This is, if whoever it reaches, if you're a young girl, a young boy, speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Speak up. Do not stay silent. And this is for anyone who has gone through something similar to this, and they just need to know you're not alone. People are suffering in silence, and I'm suffering in silence. And now I guess it's time to speak on this. The breaking point, I've been wanting to do this video, but the breaking point that made me say to do this video was I was laying in my bed and a very particular favorable memory popped up in my head. And the way it popped up in my head, I wasn't even thinking about that type of thing. It just popped up in my head, and I literally started crying in the bed. And I was like, oh my gosh, bro. I was like, oh my goodness. This happened to me over 10 years ago. And just the thought of it made me cry. Like cry. I was like, yeah, I gotta speak on this, something. I guess it's time for me to speak on it. There's a lot of things I might have to speak on later on, hopefully not, but yeah. So disclaimer, this is not to bash anyone. This isn't to like spill tea or anything. This is for me. This is for me to release. Okay? Release what no longer serves me. Release things that, why does my throat, yo, this is how I know, like my throat is starting to, ooh, this is powerful. This is for me to release what needs to be released, and always to send a message. I want to be intentional with this video, again, to give a hug to anyone who is trying to heal from things that they don't talk about. So this is my way of healing from things that I haven't told anyone this specific memory. So this specific memory I'm going to bring up later on in the story, but I need to get into, let's really get into it so I have it organized. So now, celibacy journey. It's been a year and change of me not having any sexual intercourse, any sexual contact with anyone. I'm heterosexual. I only slept with men. I never even kissed a girl, nothing like that. And I have nothing against the LGBTQ plus community. Nothing. I love y'all, but I'm straight. I know I'm straight. I love men. Okay, I love men. Like I knew that from a young age. So now, it's been a year and change, and The reason why this is such a big deal for me, because even as adolescent into adulthood, I was sexual. I loved pleasuring myself at a young age, and I didn't know that these were things tied to things that I'm gonna talk about. But yes, and I haven't had no urges or anything. I just been cool and just focusing and just locking in, and I'm proud of myself because y'all see the STD rates? The STD rates are insane. People is giving people stuff knowingly, so I feel like that is protection and that is real like alignment, because there's a movement and it's just crazy. The STD rates is crazy, and I know I'm clean and I'm making sure I take care of my body, right? Taking care of my body and prioritizing my health and being celibate is really good. I would recommend it. Listen, I'm not judging nobody that's doing, having sex, none of that, but listen. This is year 1. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into year 5, because the way how I've been locked in, I'm locked in, okay? So that is the celebratory part of this video. I'm just praising myself and saying, hey, like, I'm celibate and this is a big deal. And now you're gonna know why it's a big deal. Because you'll be like, girl, who cares? It's a big deal for me personally, right? So these memories were memories that I buried for years, okay? Things that would pop up in my head, and I literally kind of gaslit myself, like, oh, that didn't happen. But now I know, like, no, it happened. Because if it pops up in my head and I start crying or feeling a type of way, it's for a reason. And trauma is stored in your body. Certain things you will never, ever, ever forget. No matter how much you try to forget, it's gonna pop up, and you have to face that. Okay, you have to face that. Now I feel like you gotta face your shadow self, your demons, whatever you wanna call it. So let's get into why it's such a big deal of me being a year and change celibate. So growing up, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but basically we were kind of taught, like, don't, whatever happens in the house stays in the house. I was always kind of like silenced, like, oh, don't, like, just kind of, oh, keep it on the hush hush, like, okay, whatever, like, it's kind of the Caribbean household where it's like, oh, there's no such thing as depression or anything. You should be grateful that you're alive and we're feeding you and you're in your home and everything. So I kind of was just taught and conditioned to just keep things to myself. That's not good. Let me do my eyebrows while I'm talking, because I don't think I'm doing my lashes. So I was kind of brought up on that. That's just to give a backstory on the events that happened that kind of made me just be quiet about it. And now I'm not going to be quiet about it no more. So now I had a swimming pool in my apartment complex, and I loved going to the pool. We would be in the pool all day. We would eat, go back in the pool. I loved to swim. I loved being in the water. I still love it. I'm always gonna love being in the pool and swimming and diving and all of that. So I remember, this is the memory that made me cry, y'all. This is the memory that made me just sit down and like do this video. So I remember being in the pool, and out of nowhere, I feel a hand rubbing kind of aggressively on my kitty cat. Essentially like being groped right on my kitty cat. And that person was rubbing it. They was rubbing it. I was like, oh, okay. At the time, I had, the fight or flight, I froze. I literally froze and was just like in the water, and the person was under the water. And the reason why it was kind of like, okay, I kind of just have to brush past it because it was under the water, the boy, and that's what's messed up. It was a boy. It wasn't even no grown-ass man. It was a boy, and the boy wasn't even that much bigger than me. So he was underneath me, whatever, groping me, and then 5 seconds later, the person left. The person just swam away. And I was just stuck like, what just happened? Like, someone just touched my boom boom, and they just went away. And I was just like, okay. And it happened in the pool. So I'm like, maybe, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe they just passed by. But I'm like, no, because it was like they was rubbing it for a good 5 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds. So I was just like, okay, I froze. I was young, y'all. I don't even think I was in my double digits yet. So I was probably 8, 9, whatever. So I kind of just brushed it off again, and I never told anyone, even to this day. This is my first time verbally speaking on it. So yeah. Now, The hypersexuality. The hypersexuality came from, you know, the media, you know, you see certain things, but it came from, that's the thing. It came from stuff like that. Now, masturbating at a young age. I was masturbating like 12, 13. I might have to cut these words out, but I think I was like 12, 13. Like I was really young, and it was by accident. You know, like the hose, the shower head, use the shower head to like, you know, thing, you know, put it down there and everything. And then it was like, oh, pleasure, like me finding out at a young age about sexual pleasure accidentally and just being kind of addicted to it. It was to the point where I would take long showers. I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna take a shower, mom. Oh, mommy, I'll take a shower first, because it would kind of be like, okay, who's gonna take a shower first? And I would be the first one to be like, yeah, I'll take a shower, because I knew that I was gonna play with my thing with the shower head with the water pressure, right? Boom, thought it was normal. I'm like, okay, this is probably normal. But then I started to be like, maybe it's not, because it was getting like addictive. Like I would be wanting to take extra showers. I would be in the shower for so long that, you know, my mother would be like, Kimberly, what are you doing? You still in the shower? Like, you know, hurry up. So it was getting that bad. And then the masturbating excessively, to the point where just like 2-3 times a day, especially on days where we didn't have school or we was just in the house all the time, because we would be in the house a lot, right? Now, I'm thinking that all of that is normal. So now into adulthood, sex kind of just became a coping mechanism. Coping with all sorts of child. I got stories for days, but essentially it became a coping mechanism for all the things that I was experiencing. And it was to the point where I wasn't like no sex addict, like fucking all the time and fucking orgies. No, it was just like, yeah, this is something that I am using to cope when I was depressed and all that stuff, right? And doing it with people that didn't value me, and it was just like, okay, girl, you need to love yourself. Like, girl, love yourself. You can't just give it out. And it was kind of a thing like, oh, I'm just like thinking that I'm regular. And it's like, oh, I'm far from regular. Like, I'm not the one. I'm not the one to play with, okay? I'm 101. So, but I had to learn that and really learn to love myself. So at that point now, I'm just like, okay, like, what is it gonna give? You know what I'm saying? So went to therapy, all that, and now, this is kind of, okay. This all came from, right? So I just talked about the childhood, everything into adulthood, using it as a coping mechanism. So now that I'm using it as a coping mechanism, I had to really like evaluate and sit down and think like, why am I so quick to have sex? Like, why am I just always so horny or whatever? And there's nothing wrong with having a sex drive, but it was just to the point where it was just like, it was becoming addictive. It was like an addictive personality. You know, like it's people who drink a lot or smoke a lot or have sex a lot. That's what it was. That's what it was. Not even becoming. That's what it was. And I thought it was normal because the people around me were like that as well. And like, yeah, that's fun, you know, all that type of stuff. And it was it's in the media. It's in society. America, everything is so super overly sexualized. You know what I'm saying? So we think it is normal. It's not normal. It's not normal to be overly sexualized. There's nothing wrong with being sexual. There's nothing wrong with, you know, but overly, where it's becoming something that's a crutch or a detriment to your life. Because remember, you could get STDs. It can affect your health if you're doing it with the wrong people. Now, I started getting memories of this specific thing. And this was pertaining to my biological father, okay? I lived in Jamaica for around a year. I think I went there twice, but I remember the second time that I lived there for a year, I went to school there, everything. And I think that's how I got my accent. Because people tell me, oh, you have an accent. I'm like, okay, I guess. So we had like a nanny, maid, whatever you want to call it. And in Jamaica, there's a lot of like mixed race people who are Jamaican Chinese or Jamaican British. So she was Jamaican Chinese and she was the maid. And I was extremely young. This is how I know like this is deep, because I don't know how I still remember this. I was like a little teeny girl, because I remember looking up at everything, and I was so small. I remember being so small and looking up at everything, and everything looked so big. So I was like probably like 5, 4. I don't know exactly, but I was very young. And I remember seeing this person's private part. And I remember like touching it or doing something to it. And I remember the shape. Even now, I can remember what it looked like. This time I remember what it looked like. And I remember telling the maid, the nanny, and I told her, I said, oh, Daddy, baby looked like a castle. And she looked at me, and I remember she just looked like she was like, it's something, like I said something off, like I said something wrong to her, because I'm telling her that my father's penis looks like a castle. And I'm like, a castle? And I remember, I can literally remember the image in my head. And she just kind of looked like, and then I started acting a little funny, right? And I remember that it was in the bathroom because he was like sitting down and I was, there. Okay. This is, like I said, this is very young and I remember it. I remember it very vividly. There's something really eerie about when parents, like moms, are like, oh, telling their daughters to cover themselves up. If we're like 6, 7 and we're not even developed yet, I remember like she would be like, oh, cover yourselves. When our dad would come from work, she'd be like, oh, make sure you cover yourself, put on your pants. Don't walk around naked, don't walk around with just a panty, like. So, and obviously we all thought that was normal, but it's not, because why do we have to cover ourselves in front of our own father? In front of other people coming in, yeah, I get it. Like, you can't just be walking around naked. But I mean, even still, it's like we're children. We're literally children. We shouldn't be sexualized or seen as something sexual or enticing if we're just showing our legs. It's not like our things are showing. We're wearing a panty over it, a brief over it for the boys too. So it was just like, okay, it was normal to me. I'm like, okay, when men come around and when other adults come around, don't, just cover yourself up. That's not normal, y'all. It's not normal. So that's how I knew. That's when I connected the dots. So now at this point, I'm connecting the dots. I'm realizing this is not, right. This video is 16 minutes. So I'm going to start wrapping it up. I'm already almost done with what I had to say. Ooh, but I feel so much better. I got that off my chest, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. This video is just a raw, uncut, me just speaking out on this and coming to terms with the fact that there's a lot of things that happen and that are kind of just pushed on the rug, and it's not going to be pushed under the rug no more. So before I end this video is going to reach the right people. This video is going to spread positivity and empowerment. This video is to empower myself. This video is to empower other people. And this video is to bring awareness. We are moving into 2026. Speak up. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Not to get overly religious, but in the Bible it says that life and death is in the power of the tongue. What you say is extremely powerful. And speaking up on things that happen to you is healing. And it can help heal other people. So that is the message for this video. Now I feel it within my heart and my spirit. Like, I said what I had to say. That is it. That's all I had to say. That is the end of the video. This is Kim Makia. You already know what it is and what's up. I hope you guys took something away positive from this video. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say. If anybody comes in the if anybody come in them comments and say something crazy, I'm not even gonna argue with you. I'm not even gonna argue with you. You're gonna get deleted and blocked. The comment section is going to be a comment section where people are uplifting each other if they want to tell their story, whatever it may be. But I come from a Caribbean family. We will crush y'all bad. And I don't think you want me to crush y'all bad. So I'm going to keep it cute and classy. Bye, y'all.